Hi everyone, today I'm taking a look at the other stuff that I got in my Makselife affiliate box for sharing with you for the launch that is actually happening today. Sorry about this one coming a bit late, but I did have a lot to talk about when it came to the flagship planner, which was the last video, so I wanted to just separate them into two. Anyway, I've got a whole bunch of stuff here. Today I will be taking a look at the updated daily planner. I will be looking at a new notepad that they have, and then a bunch of notebooks and their new folio. So we're going to push these to the side. We're going to start with the daily planner. A side note, these were all sent to me by Makselife because I was one of their artists this year. I got sent these items for free, but this is always going to be my uncensored opinion on all the things. This video is not sponsored. So first and foremost, we're going to talk about this daily planner. I got one of them. This is the cloud color. It's like a kind of a marshmallowy cream color on the cooler end of cream. The other covers that they've got are gray and blues, and they're very, very pretty, but I just really love this color. Actually, if you look at the flagship cover that I did, the purple is part of their new color palette for this year, but all the line work is all in this same cloud marshmallowy color. I think it's very soft and very, very pretty. So this is the daily planner. It's a quarter. It comes on a coil rather than wire O binding, and it is undated. It is also available in inserts. The planner itself is $58 for a quarter, which I said in my review video last year that I do think that it is pricey, but if you're trying to go for having your goal setting and your planner stuff in one planner, buying two separate systems could wind up being as pricey, but it is not an inexpensive planner. The cover, I know last year some people had trouble with how thick the cover was. It's like a vegan leather. It's the silliest fucking term ever, but it's like a PVC vegan leather style cover, and it was thick, and so it would tear and get caught on the coil. But it's thinner this year. It's still nice and thick. It's still hardy, but it is the same thickness as the hard covers for the flagship planners, as opposed to being even thicker than that. So it doesn't have anywhere near as much trouble flipping back and forth, as you can see. The coil is so nice. This is the really hardy, hardcore metal coil that I just love so very much. It has Makselife imprinted on the front. The back is just the same cover but blank, and then there's the same gray stretchy strap to hold it. It may bother some people that the coil is big compared to the planner, but it also leaves you room in case you want to stuff this full of stickers or other things. So it just depends on what your purposes are. I went through all of the goal setting pages and everything with the flagship, but heads up that similar to the flagship planner, all of the planner pages, like the goal setting instruction pages, have all been updated, reformatted with some updates and everything like that. So that should be the same in this planner as well. Has your front page for your name and everything else, then your basic opening planner information. You've got your tabs that are laminated. The goal setting is printed on here for the front, but the 3 tabs for the month are blank. If you go in the back, there are these clear stickers that you can use to date your tabs on both the front and the back for whatever quarter you happen to, whatever 3 months you happen to use this for. And then you have all your planning information with your compass and everything else, your assessment, your intentions, your goal setting. And then when it comes to writing out your annual goals, the big update that we have in this planner, again, not big update, but the update that we have here, same as in the flagship, is that it is dot grid instead of lined for your annual goals in case you want to mind map them or do something else. And the dot grid is 6.5 millimeters. The dot grid is 6 by 6 millimeters, but it still says work and learning. It still has your 8 areas of life with your focus and how will my life improve by reaching these goals, with the 8 areas of life being personal, fun and recreation, work and learning, family and relationships, health and wellness, spiritual and personal growth, financial and physical environment. These colors are also updated. I will insert a picture here comparing the two color schemes from the flagship review video. Suffice it to say, I think the colors are great. I like the updates to them, but it's not a huge deal. I don't know if you would have noticed, except for maybe looking at the purple without being told about it. It's not a huge update, but it is a nice update. And from what I understand, part of the reason it's updated is because they have another product that I don't have in my hands yet, the Moxie markers that are designed to coordinate with them, and the colors are updated in part so that they really match the markers. You have a couple pages for your vision board. These are blank, and then some goal setting quick tips. And then we're in your first month. Now this is an undated planner, but it gives you a Sunday start. Of course, you can always cover this up if you want to. You have 5 rows for dates, the notes column. There is a Makselife logo here on the edge, and then there's a line right here to put your month, and then a blank side here. And then we get into your monthly goals, 8 areas of focus. They're still lined, but you have a dot grid page for your reflections or for whatever you want to use it for. And then your weekly actions page, which all looks the same to me except for the updated colors. The whole reason I even started using a daily planner for work was because of this fucking layout. You have your weekly overview, which has week of, focus, and then you have a horizontal layout Monday through Sunday with room to write the date and just some space to write some shit down. Pay attention to that. We're going to come back to that in a minute. And then we have your daily layout, which has not changed. Date, focus, 3 boxes on the bottom. We have a long to-do list, a spot for 3, like a top 3. There's 15 lines here for your schedule it's undated though. So you have just a spot with like a little 2 dots to put your own timeline in. And the thing that I was doing, because I wanted half hours for work, I don't remember who said this originally, but it's been what I've been working with. What I will do when I go to date it, because I'm using the inserts right now in this situation, what I do is I just go from 8 to 5 p.m. and I just go down into the dot grid. They also have like washi tapes that will fit with this as well. And you get all 7 days. So it's not dated, but you also don't have like a weekend day where everything is crammed onto one page. They give you the whole 7 days. Then you go into your next weekly actions. Each month gives you 5 total weeks. And then you have your monthly reflections page. And then you go into your next month. So you have 3 months of 5 weeks each. So it's 15 weeks total. And then at the back, you have your assessment section. It gives you 1 quarterly assessment. You get 1 more compass. And then you have the page here that gives you a spot to put your current and your previous scores, how your scores either increased or decreased, your actions, 3 words, how you generally felt over the last 90 days, and your biggest opportunity for growth. The one thing it doesn't have, which is something I've mentioned before, is the same assessment questions. But if you sign up for Makselife's email list, you get their download library, which has their compass assessment. I like to print those questions and use them every time I do the quarterly assessment because I find it makes it a little more accurate, I guess. Accurate might not even be the best word. I feel better about the scores knowing that they weren't just plucked out of my ass, but they were plucked out of my ass with many more questions than averaged. And then the back is a dot grid page. And then in the extra section, you get 6 months worth of space, and it's not dated. It's just 6 blank months for like a future log type situation. And then you get a whole bunch of notes pages. You actually get probably at least double the amount of notes pages you get in the flagship planner, which makes sense because it's a lot less pages on this coil. In the back, you have those aforementioned clear stickers to label your months. And then you have a nice hearty pocket. And then you have your stickers with your updated colors. And then in the back, you have a nice pocket, nice hearty pocket. And then that is the end of your daily planner. Now the paper is 120 GSM. I really love the paper. I've loved it when I used one of these planners. I loved it when I used the inserts. I've loved it in my 6-month planner. And I will insert the pen test here from the flagship planner because it's the same paper. So that is the daily planner. It's basically the same with a little bit of reformatting. The big changes being the reformatting of the goals pages and the thinner cover. But yeah, like I really love this particular layout and I really love using it as my work daily planner, although I don't know exactly what I'm doing for my work planner for next year. Stay tuned for those videos once I figure my life out, which will probably be in December. If I don't use this, which I don't think I'm going to because I have some other ideas, then I will be giving this away during Vlogmas, along with anything else in this video that I'm not going to be using, so stay tuned for that. Now, remember how I said stay tuned for that weekly layout, that weekly overview? This is the next product we're looking at. It's a weekly overview notepad. Last year, when they came out with the daily planner, they released a sticky notepad, which I have somewhere. I don't know where it is. I cleaned my office, which means I can't find fucking anything. But they had a sticky notepad of the daily layout, which I actually got, of this layout right here, which I actually got and utilized for quite some time because I wanted to see if using a daily layout like this would be something that would work for me for my work life. The thing that I loved the most, though, was the weekly overview, because that's really handy for me when I'm planning out my work week. Like, I don't have every day fully figured out, but having like milestones that I want to hit each day was really helpful. So they came out this year with a similar pad, A5 sized. It's the same size as the paper. Is it the same size? I'm pretty sure it's the same. Yeah, it's the same as the paper in the planner with this weekly overview on it. So this is making me really excited because part of me is thinking I want to incorporate my work planner into my bullet journal next year. And if that's the case, then this might be actually a fun way to utilize it. But it's the same thing. Week of focus, Monday through Sunday, horizontal layout with room for you to write your date on it. It's a sticky notepad, so you can stick it into whatever planner you're using and use it there. It's A5 size. There's 60 sheets. So this gives you more than a full year of weeks. Why am I going to stick this back on here? Am I just trying to like use it up that much? Well, I guess we'll use this for a pen test because it is different paper than the planner itself. The notepads have 80 GSM paper. So the planners are 120 GSM. This is quite a bit thinner, but it makes sense because it's more of a sticky note. Before I pen test this, the notepad is $10, which if you really love this layout but don't want the goal setting and maybe the cost of the daily planners expensive for you, you can get your ass one of these weekly pads for $10 and one of the daily pads for $10. That could be one way to do it if you want to. Anyway, let's do a quick pen test. As usual, I've got my gel pen, which is a Pentel Energel RTX. I've got my pigment liner from Staedtler for a fine liner, Tombow dual brush pen, Zig Clean Color dot pen, and Zebra mild liner. As usual, my notes are that I'm heavy-handed and that I pressed down lightly and then harder with the dot pen and did a single and then a double pass of the highlighter. Now, this paper definitely is thinner than the previous paper. We have no ridging, though, whatsoever on either of the writing pens. Maybe because I'm writing on my hard surface rather than on the pad, but no ridging, but definitely ghosting with both of them, almost to bleed through with the gel pen. The Tombow does bleed through. The Zig Clean Color dot marker definitely bleeds through with the heavier press and very lightly bled through with the lighter press. And then there's shadowing with the single passover of the highlighter and then some bleed through with the double passover of the highlighter. But none of that bothers me too much because this paper is basically a Post-it note with nothing on the other side. So it doesn't, if it was printed on both sides, I might have a problem with that. But since it isn't, then it doesn't really bother me all that much, but it might bother you. So just letting you know. I will definitely say though, that aside from the cover that I did with Makselife, I'm probably the most, and the Moxie markers, which I don't have yet, I'm probably the most excited about this notepad. Again, because it really opens up some possibilities for my work planning situation for next year. Let's look at this big stack. This is all of the various notebooks and the folio. So what do we have here? We have the Makselife Folio. We have the year-end 2022 reflections, a regular dot grid notebook, the daily intentions notebook, the daily reflections notebook, and the goal setting quarterly notebooks. These are all A5 sized. Let's start with the folio. All right, so first and foremost, when you open this folio up, there is a bit of a chemical odor from the PVC. But if it's anything like the covers last year, it goes away really quickly. So this is the Makselife Folio. This is a new product for them this year, meant to go with all of their notebooks or any other A5 size notebooks you might have your hands on. It is $42 and it comes in 2 colors. This is what they're calling Storm. It's not the same Storm as the other cover, the one in the previous video. It's a gray. Then they have another one that is called Luna, which is an indigo color. I love this gray color though. According to them, it's a vegan Saffiano leather. It's got the nice stitching around the sides, and then it's got your bands here with the Makselife imprinted on the back. And it's got like a crosshatch kind of texture on it. It is very textured. It feels very nice in your hands. The cover closes. It's hard to see because there's nothing in it. I guess I can put in that it came shipped with this like piece of foam in it to keep it in shape. But there's like a magnetic cover. It's not a super strong magnet, so it like won't hurt you. I have been hurt by magnetic covers in the past. Let's not talk about it. But it's a fairly light magnet, but it does close that way. So there's no bulk from like a clasp or anything like that. When we open it up, it has pockets on the front and the back. These two big like paper holding pockets. And I know that they showed in one of their pictures that they stuck one of these notepads and they put like the cardboard here and that it fit really nicely in the back of the folio. They also had their habit tracker sticky pad, which I think I gave away last year. And they had it stuck in here, but they've got these 4 like business card sized pockets that you can use for either those sticky notes or for something else. But there are like pockets. I know that some people who do like the traveler's notebook and the Filofax things, they love to have pockets like filled with a bunch of bullshit. So if you like that, then they're here. There are 4 straps, so it can hold 4 notebooks, and I'll show you that when everything is full. And then the inside is like this like velvety kind of feeling material. Kind of reminds me of my kitten's belly. That kind of like velvety feel. It's not something that normally I get weirded out by velvety feels on products, but this really reminds me of Odin's belly and it's not bothering me. And then there's a nice stretchy pen loop here in the back. And we will definitely leave this pen in here for testing with the notebook. So this is the Folio, which I think is nice looking if you really want to use your notebooks. So let's talk about the notebooks. First and foremost, we'll take a look at this one. This is the 2022 Year-End Reflections notebook. Now, from everything I understand, this will actually be a gift with purchase for launch day orders. So if you order today, you're going to get one of these in it. But I think that they'll also be offering this for sale if you want extras of them. I don't know how much they'll cost though. So it's a 30-page A5 notebook, or 30 sheets, so 60 pages, A5 notebook with this lovely like dark blue color on it. Kind of reminds me of the color of the Storm flagship planner, with the 2022 year-end reflections stamped on the front in foil and the Makselife stamped on the back. And it's just it's matte, but it's got a little bit of a sheen to it. So what this is they wanted this to be for people, like for anybody who wants to use this, but especially for people who weren't using the Makselife system this year. They want to give you the year-end review stuff so that you can utilize this to help you set your goals for the upcoming year. And I will definitely be using this at the end of this year, I think. So you open it up, it's stitched, and it's really nicely stitched. Like sometimes you see with these kinds of notebooks where they have just like the big, like 4 or 5 stitches, but this is like tiny stitches all the way down, which I absolutely love because those notebooks tend to stand up a little bit more. They like last a little longer than the ones with like the big stitching. Here's your front like nameplate page, the Makselife info. Here's a little note from Sierra, the founder, about review, reflect, and celebrate your progress. These pages are nice and thick. They have the same thickness feel as the regular planners, not the thinner paper of the Notepad. You get a year in review compass assessment without the questions. It's just the compass with the 8 areas of life, and then the same information here, the current and the start of the year, which I actually really like because that way you can go and not look at the previous quarter, but all the way back if you were doing this at the start of the year. So then these prompts and pages to reflect on your year and prepare for your 2023 compass assessment. First page we have our 2022 wins, 2022 highlights. These are all lined pages, by the way. 2022 challenges. I'm going to not need to keep repeating 2022. Lessons, which you learned, what you're most proud of. Also, I'll note that at the bottom of every page has the little Makselife compass with the colors. Growth, gratitude, what's working, what's not working, impact, how do I want people to experience me, inappropriate, In what ways do I want to create an impact in the lives of my loved ones or the world at large? Adjustments, what adjustments you want to make in 2023. Reflections. So 3 words to describe 2022, 3 words to describe how you felt in 2022, 3 words to describe how you want to feel in 2023, what you're excited about coming up, what your area of life's, what areas do you think you'll be focusing on in 2023? What are you going to say no to? What are you going to say yes to? What are you going to stop apologizing for? And who or what will be your support network in 2023? Then here is a letter to yourself for 2023, an opportunity to remind yourself what you're working towards and to give yourself words of encouragement. Now, if I do this, I don't know if I'm going to do this page. I have never been able to do a letter to myself with like word of the year stuff, with fucking any of the like things where they have you do this. For some reason, as much as I'm willing to dig deep and do some of this work, despite how sometimes it pushes against my cynical, smarmy ass nature, for some reason, letters to myself have never been something I've been able to like wrap my mind around. But who knows? Maybe I'll be feeling super woo woo about it. And then some blank pages. You get 1, 2, 2.5 spreads of blank pages to brain dump more reflections and notes for the upcoming year. And then that is the end of this little notebook. What I really like about it is that it will fit neatly into the back pocket of any of these like bigger planners, because you can start adding to it as you get into December. So I definitely will not be giving this away. I'm pretty sure I'm going to be using this at the end of 2022, but just note that if you order on launch day, you will get one of these for free. Let's take a look at the goal setting quarterly notebooks. People had asked if Makselife would offer the goal setting system outside of the planner for people who had a different planner that they like to use, but wanted to still do the Makselife goal setting. So that's what these guys are. And I'm pretty sure that aside from the updated goal setting pages, I think one of the big updates to these is that they redid the covers. Last year, the covers were like a paper cover, and this year they've got that same like kind of leatherette style of cover that is similar to on the Storm flagship planner that I talked about before. It's like a nice, really, really thick cover with it's like a thick cardstock inside. The outside has like a layer of that like vegan leather, fake leather PVC shit with the texture on it. So it feels very, very luxurious. So you get 5 total notebooks in this set. The first notebook is your instructions notebook and like your annual goal setting stuff. So like the beginning of the year stuff. And then you get 4 quarterly goal setting notebooks. I believe these are the same colors as the daily planner. So the cloud, the 2 blues, and the gray. I believe these are the same colors you can get with this planner. And then each of them has a different little phrase on the front with silver, like imprinted with silver foil with the Makselife on the back. So first we'll go through this guy, which has the lines, which are the inside of like this annual notebook. And then the little compass on the bottom with the updated colors. So the inside here, the goal setting companion notebook instructions, it looks like all of these pages are perforated, so you can tear them out if you need to. And then all of this is the goal setting steps, the compass, the assessment, the intentions, the goal setting, all of the goal setting tips from the flagship planners. And then you have your annual goals with the dot grid. And then your vision board and your goal setting quick tips. This is basically the entire beginning of the flagship planner, but that it's in its own individual book so that you can keep this and move this from place to place with everything else that you're working on. Each of the quarterly books is the same, just with a different cover. So we'll just pick one to take a look at. So you open it up. It's the same lines. And then you have your goal setting companion notebook. Now, it lays flat. You do got to give it a bit of a press at first because the cover is pretty stiff. But then as soon as you press it down, it lays flat just fine. All of the pages, again, are perforated. And what you get in each quarterly book, besides you have the upfront, the nameplate, the info here, and then what you get is a monthly layout, undated, same monthly layout as in the daily planner, monthly goals, which are lined, and then you get your sets of weekly action pages and the blank dot grid page that you can use for reflections or whatever. You get 5 of those spreads with the weekly actions and the dot grid, a monthly reflections page, which is the same as in the other planners, and then a line page for notes or whatnot, and then another month. So each quarterly notebook has 3 months with 5 weeks each, so 15 weeks. At the end of your quarterly page, you have a quarterly assessment. Again, this is the exact same layout as in the end of the daily planner, with your compass on one side and your quarterly assessment on the other side. Then you have a handful of notes pages, 5.5 spreads of lined notes pages, also perforated, and then you have your back shiny cover with a pocket here on the back. And that is your quarterly notebook. So it's just the goal planning stuff. And you get 4 quarters. So with this package, which I didn't mention the price for the goal setting quarterly companion notebooks is $58, and it gives you the entire year of goal setting. So with this, you can go to any planner you want and still get the Makselife goal setting system. Now this year, they have, and maybe because there's so many notebooks here, let's just take a minute here and see if we can set this folio up. So what I would do, if this was me, what I would probably do is stick my, let's start with getting like no, we're going to come back to this because I'm going to set this up as if I was actually going to use it, and I would not be putting all 4 of my quarters in at the same time because there are these other notebooks. So first and foremost, we have the dot grid notebook, A5 with 60 pages. It's also the same leatherette cover as the companion notebooks, but it says dot grid notebook on the front in silver foil and the Makselife on the back. The notebook is $12. Now I think this only comes in the cloud color, but I could be wrong about that. I'm pretty sure it does though. So it has the same leatherette cover, and then the inside is just a dot grid. It gives you the nameplate page, and then other than that, it's the pages of dot grid with the Makselife compass down in the corner, and the dot grid, I believe, is the same as the other dot grid, which is 6 millimeters square. Yes, 6 millimeters square. So this is just a basic dot grid notebook, no pocket in the back, and this notebook is $12. Now we have the 2 other new notebooks. They're meant for mornings and evenings. So the morning notebook is in the light blue color. These colors have names. I know I'm like tripping balls here, but like the colors have names. Let's see if I can find the color names, because the colors, they're like light blue and some other color, blah, blah, blah. But I know that they gave them their own names, and like I love the cloud name because I think it's perfect for this. So it might be helpful if I have the other names too. Also considering that these colors are the same colors as the daily planners. So this is cloud. This is storm, the gray. The dark blue is called Luna, and the light blue is called sky. So the daily intentions notebook, which is $16, is in the color sky. Again, it's 60 pages. With the silver foil on the front says Daily Intentions Notebook, and the back says Makselife. You open it up, it has the same lined stuff, and then you've got the nameplate page. These pages are not perforated. The paper is still nice and thick. It's the same paper, I'm assuming, as the rest of the planners. And then when you get in, what you get is a full notebook of these daily intentions pages. They're meant to be like a morning journaling prompt. Daily intentions: how am I feeling today? How do I want to feel? What do I need today to feel good? What do I want to attract to myself today? Today I will let go of or say no to. Today I will embrace. Who is someone I want to make a mindful connection with today? What is something I can do in 15 minutes or less today that will positively impact my life? And then today's mantra or affirmation. And the way this page is set up is that it's in like the gray font, but they have their like light Makselife colors as like little barrier lines in between each question. But other than that, it's in the same like dark gray font that is easy to read. So that's this, guys. This is meant to be like a morning journaling practice for somebody who doesn't want to just look at a blank page. And then this is the evening notebook, the daily reflections and gratitude notebook, which is also $16. In the storm color, same leatherette cover, same silver embossing, says daily reflections and gratitude notebook. Same inside page, same nameplate for the most part. And then we're into the same situation where it's 60 days thereabouts of these daily reflections and gratitude. So how I felt today, and then you get to check off your energy level on a scale of 1 to 10, your mood level on a scale of 1 to 10. 5 things you're grateful for, something you brought you joy, today's wins, how I grew today I'm proud of myself for, and what is something I can do tomorrow to make it a good day. Now, out of these 2 notebooks, I am more inclined to go with the evening notebook than the morning because I have tried journaling in the morning and my brain is just not prepared for that. However, the evening notebook I'm really interested in because sometimes when I'm doing my weekly reflections, it takes a little bit for me to figure out, like to think back over the week and to figure out things like what were my wins? What were my wins? What were my lessons? Blah, blah, blah. I've got kidney brain. I don't remember things very well. So doing it daily will give me something to kind of use as a reference. That's something I'm potentially interested in, but I'm not sure yet. So now that we've got these figured out, let's just pretend for a moment that I was going to use this system instead of a daily system, or instead of the weekly flagship or whatever. Let's just take for a second and say, okay, I'm going to put in, I want this to be like my goal planning folio. So let's set it up. So I would start it with one of these goal setting quarterly notebooks. Right. And I probably would go with, the Luna ? Because all of the other notebooks are different colors. So for the fun. So I will take this and slide it right into one of these strings in the center. And that is the front. So then what I would do is I would take my daily intentions notebook, since this is the morning notebook, and open it up to the center and stick this in the other pocket. And then I would take my nighttime reflections and open that up in the center and stick that in the next one of these guys. And then for the fun, and you could always use other A5 notebooks in here too. Like any A5 notebook would work. It doesn't have to be a Makselife one. But I'll take the blank dot grid because what the fuck? Why the fuck not in this hypothetical situation? And so that's all 4, and they fit nicely. Now, I did run into some trouble trying to get the cover to close with the pen in the pen flap. I have my pen in the pen flap, and then that magnet's not sticking. Yes, it is. You just got to kind of push out. Like, you really have to, like, close it for the magnet to stick with the pen in the pen flap. So that is something to keep in mind. But this gives you the full situation. Now, if I was going to put anything else in here, I probably would not keep my pen in there. But let's see if I want to take my yearly situation and shove it in this front pocket. Yeah, you could do it. I mean, again, it's pretty full, but I would say that 4 notebooks is probably the best amount of stuff to put in here. But that if you want to add lots of other stuff in the pockets, I would maybe go with 3, potentially. And I like that it's very structured feeling. Like it's not, this has like a nice kind of end to it, like a bookend, as opposed to being soft. That's one thing I was never a big fan of Traveler's notebooks, is that it would always be soft here on the edge. And I like the structure because it feels more like a book than like a pouch or something. So there is that. Anyway, so that is the folio. I know for a fact I will not be using the goal setting notebooks because I have learned in this last year that I like my goal setting and my planner to be in the same planner. So these will definitely be given away during Vlogmas. As for the notebooks, the dot grid, the intentions notebooks, I don't know yet. I haven't decided. I do know that I will be keeping this guy, but like I said, this guy is a gift with purchase anyway. But definitely the 5-pack here, the quarterly goal setting, will be given away during Vlogmas as one pack. And then potentially these 2 notebooks as well. Maybe even the A5 notebook. I'm not sure yet. And the Folio, potentially. So keep your eyes open for any of this stuff getting given away. Also, I know for sure I'll be giving this daily one away because if I do use Makselife daily pages for my work planner next year, I'll probably either do the inserts or these little notepads or the digital. There's also a whole bunch of digital stuff that's been updated. I'm just not reviewing that because I'm not fucking versed enough in digital shit to review. Anyway, so this is all of the Makselife stuff. I would love to hear your thoughts on it below if there's anything you're particularly interested in, as well as any other planners you'd like me to take a look at by the end of the year. Thank you so much for watching. Subscribe if you haven't already, and until next time, friends, peace.